Welcome to the Sales Lead Dog Podcast, hosted by CRM technology and sales process expert Christopher Smith, talking with sales leaders that have separated themselves from the rest of the pack. Listen to find out how the best of the best achieve success with their team and CRM technology. And remember, unless you are the lead dog, the view never changes.
Welcome to Sales Lead Dog. Today I have joining me Andrew Cohen of Netsurit. Andrew is the Executive Vice President of Strategic Sales. Andrew, welcome to Sales Lead Dog.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here, Andrew. Andrew, tell me a bit about Netsurit.
Sure. Netsurit is a global managed service provider in the IT space, and I form what they call the Netsurit innovation arm of that business. My former company was a company called Evoke. We were acquired by Netsurit at the end of 2021, and I was the CEO and owner of that company. So we were focused on digital transformation, modern workplace experiences. So Netsurit's global managed service provider, we form the arm of the innovation service of Netsurit.
I love that. That's my world. To me, it's a super exciting space to be in. What are you excited about for 2025, the coming year?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, every conversation I get into right now focuses around how can AI help enhance and enable our business. And the innovation service is really precise in going after the small and medium businesses that we talk to. It's really targeted for that, and how AI can help them enable their business to help improve the business processes and increase productivity, and how they can utilize it for better profitability across their organization. So we really focus on leveraging AI and automation, practical ways to enhance these kind of business outcomes for companies. And we do that from the SMB space all the way to enterprise clients. But the excitement now is just everything's around AI, obviously, but we really have the capabilities to deliver those kind of solutions in a practical and meaningful way.
That's very cool. That's if you're listening to this and you're not taking a look at any of what he just talked about, you should be, because it is the coming wave. Andrew, when you look back over your career, as an entrepreneur now as part of a very large organization, what are the three things that have really driven and led to your success?
Yeah, that's a good question, Chris. I mean, when you start your own business, I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit, and, I didn't go to business school, so I've really banged my head against many brick walls along the way. So I have a lot of mistakes that I learned that actually, if I could have rewound it and did it again, I would have had a much better outcomes going forward. But all those bad events or bad outcomes actually led to success because I kept persevering and kind of going through those negative outcomes to help drive towards a successful end outcome. So what I've learned from all this is never give up on those kind of when things are coming. External events. And when you start doing like a SWOT analysis, the things that you can control, you have a strength of what your capabilities are, what your character are, what you're capable of delivering. But the external things, the threats to your organization, like whether now lately was COVID, before that was 9/11, in business, there's all these things that have happened throughout my whole career that we couldn't even control. But the things that we could control that we weren't really good at sometimes that we learned the hard way. So we've had a lot of failures. Not failures of business because we persevered, but failures of just not doing things efficiently. And so, just that's where I just kind of, if I could rewind it, how could now going back on it now, how I could reapply successful things I've learned along the way. So probably the best thing I've learned along the way is never stop learning. That's probably the best success metric I have now. I consistently learn. Now in the new organization I'm in, I'm learning every day now and applying even those things in my new division, how to better apply those things more effectively across the organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. When you were getting started in your career, were you envisioning a path into sales?
No, actually, I was not. I mean, my background, I was an athlete in college. I was a soccer player. I played at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I was a fine art major. I painted in college.
Oh, no
I
kidding.
didn't even think I was going to be a business. I thought I was going to be an artist. So when I decided I couldn't be a fine artist, I wasn't going to be the next Monet, or next Picasso. I decided I had to actually get a job. So I got into graphic design, and then I started really figuring out how to make a career out of that. And then I kind of over the course of the career, I decided I didn't really want to work for anyone. So I started building an organization. and I hired really well. I started bringing more people in. But when you're a CEO of a small company, we got up to about 40 people organizationally.
Yeah.
I wore the hat of everything, so I
Yeah.
was the sales, marketing, HR, project manager, all those kind of things. So I never really got to focus on sales. Now, once I finally got acquired this last 2021, I've moved into that sales role the last year and a half, and I was able to actually unleash what I was really good at. So
Yeah.
finally, I've all those old bricks, all those things I really hated doing,
Yeah.
I've completely decoupled from it, and now I can focus 100% on sales. And it's elevated the whole business. I found out what I'm really good at. I'm able to now fully 100% focus on. I wish I could have done that. So going back to the things, the lessons learned.
Yeah.
If I could have done that when I was at my old company, Evoke, we probably would have been much more successful than I was,
Yeah.
in the course of 15 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Isn't that
Yeah,
funny?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
You
it
don't know
really
what
is.
you don't know, but then when you have
Mm-hmm.
that opportunity, it sounds like
Yeah.
you're taking advantage of it. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it had to be kind of like convinced to me that this is what you're really good at. Don't worry about those things. We have an organization of 600 people now, give or
Yeah.
take, and we're growing beyond that. And
Yeah.
they said, we have all that back office. You just do this.
Yeah.
You're going to help launch this innovate service. You're going to be the face of the business. You're going to do these things really well across the entire business, across the entire US.
Yeah.
It took me a little while to gravitate towards that. And then all of a sudden I embraced it. It's like, oh, this is the greatest job I've ever had. I just
That
have
is
to
so
go do
cool.
sales and talk to people all day long and
Yeah.
go deliver results. And then
Yeah.
our team just delivers great solutions, in this kind of cool technology.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating, exciting. That's why you said, what am I excited about?
Yeah.
I'm excited about what we're delivering, but I'm also excited about the opportunity to have these kind of conversations all the time. That's what I
Yeah.
do all day long.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
It's funny. What was your hesitation going into that?
Mm. The problem was, when you were acquired, the hesitation was I still had, when we got acquired, we still ran the business as a separate unit, like a region. We
Yeah.
still were told as a CEO, you still run that business. You have your own P&L, your own profit and loss. You're
Yeah.
responsible for that. Now, still responsible for it for the last 2.5 years. And so getting that kind of almost removed from me, that took a little bit of a transition. It's like when I stopped playing soccer and went into business, that transition was very difficult as well. There's like moments in life that are transformational that are really hard to just completely change
Yeah.
overnight. So that transformation was difficult. So it took me a little while, about 6 months, to really kind of like let go of the things that I was so immersed in for the last 15 years of running Evoke, my old business.
Right.
But when I worked with the leadership of Netsurit and being part of the leadership of Netsurit, I
Yeah.
realized what I could get rid of and focus on the really important things, I could help scale the business much more effectively. So it took a little while. It took more just understanding that I can get rid of those things and do better for the overall company and for my own success too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Hmm.
Is sales come easy to you, natural to you, or is that something you really had to work at and develop as a skill?
I think not this is not to be like bragging, but it's just a natural skill. I think, I just have a I didn't think I used to be, I always would classify myself as an introvert growing up,
Mhm.
so, and even I think I still am. But, when I'm actually doing this type of work, I'm just naturally kind of get into it. I just enjoy the conversation. So all day long, I'm just out there really expressing myself, enjoying that kind of understanding what drives the company's problems and just unraveling what their challenges are.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, I'm exhausted. So, I come in, the introvert kicks back in, and I
Yeah.
just don't want to talk to anyone. But during the day, there's 12 hours or so that I'm talking to people and discovering the business problems, and building solutions and having that sales cycle.
Yeah.
I love it. I embraced it. And I think it did come naturally to have that conversation, that dialogue, and just, you know, becoming a real trusted advisor, almost an advocate for their business. So
Yeah.
it's really been a real interesting journey.
Yeah. Um, what are what's been the biggest surprise about this transition for you? Was there anything that was just completely unexpected?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think, when I had Evoke, my old company, I had 5 salespeople underneath me at one time. And I kind of was like the EVP of the sales team, even though I was the CEO at that time.
Yep.
And I realized they were not anything against them. They just were sales from different organizations. They had bad background for what we were doing. And I realized I was better than all of them, but I never stepped into it. So now that I've stepped into it, I realized I could do this much more effectively and efficiently. So it just took me a while just to understand that.
Right.
And again, this whole thing we just asked before about, you know, that transition period, why it
Yep.
took a little bit of time for me to accept it is because there's old habits. There's resistance because of the change was so dramatic.
Yeah.
When you run a business for so long, for so many years,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I changed everything. And
Yeah.
all the people who work for me are still with the company at Netsurit. They all came along. So
Yeah.
they don't report to me anymore. They
Right.
report to someone else.
Yeah.
I'm like my own island. I have new guys who are going to report to me in this upcoming year, but
Yeah.
I'm like this own like sales engine. And so it's an interesting time. It's kind of
Yeah.
changed. So
Yeah.
it's
Do you
exciting.
miss having a sales team?
Uh, Not this last year because we were still, there's so much I had to do just individually, just to get
Yeah.
things ramped up to a certain level. Now in the upcoming year, as we go into our new fiscal year, I definitely need some support. So we're looking at some pre-sales support,
Yeah.
another sales associate or two that will be underneath me or support, report
Yeah.
to me. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need a team to help cultivate because I can't be everywhere at
Right.
once. And this whole innovation as a service that we run, I also am running the innovation workshops too.
Yeah.
So not only am I doing the deals, I'm actually running these kind of really long full day workshops, immersive workshops at the clients. I need people to run those for me too. So I
Yeah.
definitely need a team underneath me. So that's
Yeah.
getting hired now. It's starting to get scaled up and
Yeah.
because we've had success over the last year and a half. So now it's time to
Yeah.
start hiring.
That's very cool.
Mm,
What's going to be your strategy as you hire? What are the skill sets
mm,
that you're looking for?
mm,
Are you the kind of person that you really want, like, I want people that are like
yeah.
me? Are you trying
Mm.
to find different skill sets, a mix? What's your approach?
It's a good question because it depends on the role, right? So in
Right.
terms of the pre-sales role, we're looking for expertise in certain verticals we're going after. One of the big mandates from our CEO is we're getting very vertically focused on certain key areas, like in the healthcare space. It's not just healthcare. Where if it's a medical facility for, let's get really
Yeah.
finite, right?
Yep.
We need people that really understand that market because we don't have maybe the subject matter expert that really understands that. So I want a pre-sales person that not only in that industry, but can actually deliver solutions and really work there. So they can come in day one and help support me in that pre-sales effort. And then on the sales level, definitely like a mini version of me would be great. Someone
Yeah.
I could help coach up and mentor, and and then work towards that kind of way I do sales. There's a whole methodology of how I go through the whole sales process,
Yeah.
and that's what I would like to start building from a sales structure. And then the only other thing that we really need is really the digital strategist role, that one who runs the workshops. So that's another thing I can help mentor and say, here's how I envision it, but obviously not. I don't want to box it either. I want them to come with their own idea. So
Yes.
take it and then make it better. Because
Yep.
like when I was running everything as my own company, I did everything maybe 30% great. There's always someone who could do it 100% great. So
Yep.
I want that. And so that's the thing. I want to bring in people that can do it full-time job. That's what they do best, and I will
Yep.
let that happen.
Yeah. No, that I think that's important. It's so hard when you're fragmented and
Yeah.
split doing
Yeah.
multiple things to like, now
Absolutely.
I got to shift my focus. I've got to be this
Hmm.
person today.
Yeah.
That's hard to
It,
do.
it was terrible. That's the
Yeah.
hard part of running your small shop.
I know
It's
it is.
difficult. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
Hmm.
Um, what gets you motivated every day when you wake up in the morning and you're starting your
Mm.
day? What's putting the fire in your belly?
Yeah, it's so different now because when it used to be the stress has changed. Obviously, I have so many. The targets is about just getting those new deals, kind of matriculating. You see your pipeline, you see what you're trying to get. You have a long-term goal, you have a short-term goal, and I wake up every day energized and excited. I mean, I get up really early. I'm not one of those guys who gets up and starts working out at 5 in the morning. I get up 5, but just because I naturally wake up that way. But I'm
Yeah.
already setting my day up and thinking what I need to achieve. Look at my calendar. And I was like, oh, this is great. I have these 3 meetings. They're going to be super excited to take this to their next step. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward, planning out what I'm going to do this next upcoming month and what we're trying to close to hit our targets for the year. So it's all about just taking these things and moving it from the organization. What we're trying to grow as a organic growth from the whole company, because that's one of the
Yeah.
big strategies for a company is we're growing really well from acquisition come from the organization, but our organic growth needs to be in step with that. And
Yes.
we have very strong metrics for that, and we need to hit that. And the innovation arm of that is one of the key metrics for that growth. If we don't hit the innovation target, the whole company is going to be flatlined. So that's why it's a lot of pressure. But
Yeah.
being an athlete, I kind of love that pressure. So that's what I get. I get excited. If I woke up and I didn't have that kind of stress or energy on me, I probably wouldn't be that. I probably wouldn't work anymore for this company. I would do something
Yeah.
else. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. It has to be that kind of motivation, I think.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And that's why I asked the question, because every
Yeah.
person I think is different in terms of
Hmm.
what gets that fire in their belly, what is that they need. It usually
Yeah.
is some element is has to be external. It can't all be
Yeah.
internal, I don't
Yeah.
think.
True.
Um,
True. I mean, financial is always a motivator. Look,
Oh
there's
yeah.
commissions and all that kind of stuff in comp. But that's like the last thing I think about. It's funny. It's
Yeah.
like, even though I know it's a big target and there's money wrapped around it, it
Yeah.
doesn't, it's all the other things that are the intangibles, And
Yeah.
when I have even a conversation like this, Chris, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying our conversation. And this is how
Yeah.
I talk to when I talk to a client or a relationship. It's the
Yeah.
same type of thing. I want to learn. I mean, you're asking me the questions, but it would be role reversed.
Oh
I'd
yeah.
be asking
Yeah.
those kind of questions back to you and having that kind of engagement, really learning about what motivates you and what the things are help
Yeah.
your business drive. So it's just that's what excites me.
Yeah. How do you leverage failure in your role and the roles you've had
Yeah.
recently in your new role as well?
Well, we always do like if we don't win obviously an award for a project, and you put all that effort into the sales effort, you want to understand what was the contributing factors to why we didn't win. There are less of failures in that lately than it was maybe previously. I think our hardest part probably when we were doing this innovation service was retention of those clients because it's an annual
Yeah.
service that gets renewed every 12 months.
Yeah.
And can you define enough value beyond that first 12 months to continue renewals? So that to me was failure if we couldn't renew a client.
Yeah.
It wasn't that we were not delivering amazing stuff. So that was one of the things. That's one failure that we've really, I think we've mitigated it now. It's getting better. We're retaining and we're getting new clients that want to go 12, 24, 36 months with us.
Yeah.
And the other is just losing a deal. That's just, why did we lose it? What was the reasons why? And again, we're not in a competitive, it's hard for us to define the competition because we're in the MSP space.
Yeah.
But my division differentiates us from the rest of the MSP world. There's no other MSPs probably out there that have an innovate arm like us. I mean, they might
Right.
do some of the things we do, but we're really kind of a unique kind of fit. So we're having a hard time defining the competition sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're losing for that reason or we just lose on price. So those
Yeah.
are the kind of things I'm trying to figure out. And so we do a lot of deep dive analysis why we may not get a deal awarded. So that's really the things we try to focus on, how we do better and price ourselves effectively. We're constantly doing those kind of things.
Yeah. What's your approach for engaging with the customer and building the relationship you were talking about?
Mm. Well, in terms of obviously, if it depends on how we're going to get the relationship started. If it's a lead that comes from marketing, obviously, if it's well, we have a marketing department that sometimes feeds us leads, but most of the best opportunities come from my prospecting, networking, referrals, or our cross sales from our team. So we have all these different acquisitions and all their client base. We have probably 600 clients across our U.S. market. Not everyone's a target for the Innovate client. Well,
Right.
they're really introducing me to their key accounts that have the opportunity. They're the right target for us to probably communicate with, where innovation could actually have the opportunity to help accelerate their business. So they really
Yeah.
could scale by taking opportunity for automation, AI, all these things we can do with their organization.
Yeah.
So it starts with just a 30-minute conversation, really. I want to understand, I want them to tell me their business problems, really communicate with them effectively. It helps to be speaking to the leadership of that business. EVP and up, typically C-suite's the best because that's who I really kind of would prefer to sell to. Not
Yeah.
sell, but just have that conversation with initially.
Yeah.
And we're not talking technology at this point. Just I want to understand their business, what their industry they're in, what their challenges are, what kind of issues they haven't seen the data across their organization, all these kind of things it's contextual, but it's pretty much across all verticals, all across all industries. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Business challenges are business challenges. After that, it kind of engagement. Once we get past that, they move into the typical sales cycle. I start trying to nurture it. I want to see if we can get past that first call to a longer. I do another 1 hour mini workshop, call, or
Yeah.
if they'll allow me and it's available, I like to spend a half day with them. I'll go on site if I can,
Yeah.
even if it's I have to travel to them to spend half a day with them, really to understand the business problems. I want all their heads of business, all the business units to come in and tell me from departmentally what they're challenged with. And then we can vote and prioritize all the issues they have across the organization. We're
Yeah.
not engaged yet. And
Yeah.
then from that, then we go into like, okay, we agree that there's a lot of problems. We can fix it. Here's how we'd approach it, all the kind of
Yeah.
stuff that goes into our proposal. And then we go into hopefully a relationship. But it takes some touch points along the way. But that's the way I approach it, from initial call and then maybe another follow-on call to get some more buy-in, and then go in, if allow me, a workshop.
Yeah. That's nice.
Then engagement.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if not, then
Yeah.
I'll give, even if we don't get engaged, they get a delivery from us. I'll handle our work product. Here's what we prioritize with you. Here's the document that showed what you guys valued from a business. We
Yep.
charted it together. We voted on, prioritized it. Here's
Yep.
the biggest impact to the business. All those kind of things that are important to them.
Yeah.
That's my value back to them. I want them to understand. We are trying to build that kind of relationship day one.
And that's really comes down to is delivering value.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I
You
hope
know,
so.
if you're not delivering that value, you're just wasting time.
Yeah, because remember, we're selling to that executive level, and
Yeah.
he's probably the owner of the business. If it's an SMB, family owned sometimes, it's you get really interesting shops. I was like that way. So if someone, you're fractured time and everything's
Yeah.
time is the most valuable commodity you have.
Yeah.
If I don't show them value minute one, the
Yeah.
conversation goes sideways quickly. So I mean, I
Yeah.
want to, and if they allow me to come in and spend that much time with them,
Mhm.
we better be delivering something of significant value.
Oh yeah, because that's a
Yeah.
huge gift to get 4 hours in
If I
the
can get that, yeah,
schedule
exactly.
with their schedule.
Yeah.
That is really hard to do. Um, so what advice do you have for someone that might be heading into a major transformation, whatever that is? Because what you've been through, that is huge transformation. What are some of your key lessons learned that you think might help someone else?
Are you talking about transformation from a career role?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Like that's major career transformation.
And I'll continue to transform, which is great.
Yeah,
So,
that should
at
be.
my advanced age, right? So I'm in my 50s now. Might not, hopefully I don't look in my mid 50s, but I am. I'm 55 and I'm a father of 3 kids. So I'm constantly evolving and learning still, because now
Yeah,
we're at the next phase of this business where we're scaling to and growing.
yeah,
But I think that's the whole most important factor. I think if you really are in business to have a career path,
yeah,
and I mean, some people build a business to have a lifestyle company, and I could have built my company that way. Now, it was at one time kind of leaning its way towards that, but I kind of reevaluated where I wanted to take the business, and that's what I built it up to be acquired.
yeah,
So once I got that mindset, I changed my whole dynamic of where I was trying to transform it. So that was one of the transformational opportunities I had in my life on the business side.
yeah,
Now that I'm part of this larger organization, I decided day one what kind of impact I'm going to have on this company, where I want to be. And I'm
yeah,
on the executive committee of this company, and one of the key leaders of this business, and beyond that, I could just be one of the exco and just sit on the sidelines. But
right.
I want to be in the forefront. I want to help drive the business as much as I can, much
Yeah,
as they'll allow me on the strategy as well as the growth of the organization. So that's what I'm transforming now. So the whole
yeah,
point is, where do you take it then? And then if we're going to our next level, we go to private equity or go public.
yeah,
If I'm with the company, we become 2,000 person organization
yeah,
within 2 years or 3 years. Where do I sit there? So I'm always looking at what can I do for my career while I'm still in my prime
yeah,
to go forward. So anyone from a person who may be just starting out, chart that up, start projecting out where you want to be. I mean, there's nothing wrong with projecting out your next 10 years. I know people say, where are you going to be in 5 years? That's a little bit of a kind of a typical question you'll get in an interview.
yeah,
There's a reason why people ask that question, because they want to see how you think about things, and it's where how you chart your outcome. Because a lot of people jump from job to job every 2 years.
yeah,
But if you don't, if you can have a good answer for that next 5 to 10 years,
yeah,
don't say I'm going to be with you for the next 5 years. I'm going to think about what your life is, what your career
yeah,
looks like. I think that's kind of an interesting way to answer that question. And
yeah,
I mean, that's the way I think about it. And now that I'm an employee for the first time, I'm not a shareholder, but I'm also an employee of this company.
yeah,
It's a different kind of mindset. And I have a career. I want to continue that
yeah.
and
That's
learn.
pretty well.
Yeah. Mm.
Uh, when you are engaging with customer as an introvert, it's I say engaging, not
Yeah.
selling,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think as it what parts of your personality being an introvert do you think really help you be effective in your role in selling?
It's, I feel like I give something to myself in every conversation. When you're an introvert, even though it comes out, I'm extra, I come out like, I'm coming out all this
Yeah,
energy
yeah,
but I'm giving I feel like I'm giving some of my heart. I feel like it's weird. I feel like I give something that's different than maybe I'm not talking salesy. I don't have this script. I don't go by anything other than just my sense and my soul, my gut. I'm just having a conversation, but it takes, from my point of view, I feel like I'm giving as much as I can. And I feel like they're giving uh, the sense of humor, self-deprecation, whatever you need to do, but it's coming from an internal part of my soul a little bit. And it
yeah,
sounds a little silly, but it really does. And it takes a lot out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know if they realize it on the other side. And the thing is, it's better when I'm in person, but when you're on the camera, it's even more difficult because you don't know how it's being received as much. These virtual meetings are tough,
Yeah.
and I'm on calls all day long. So by the end of the day, I feel like I've given so much, and I hope it's been received to some small portion because it takes a toll.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's noticed, but but from being an introvert, but then if you look at our website, Netsurit, you'll see me. I'm plastered all over that website. I'm the face of the business in a way. It's hysterical. So I'm
Yeah.
on everything. I'm on podcasts. I'm doing. I never would have done that as
Right.
an Evoke. I probably was shied away from that things. Now
Yeah.
it's what I do. It's part of my daily job, I guess. I don't know. It's funny how things
So
change so quickly.
you talk all day.
Yeah.
You're done for your day. What do you do to recharge your batteries? Because you have to recharge,
Uh,
right?
yeah, and that's a problem. It's I was just mentioned a few minutes ago. I'm a kind of an old dad for young kids. I have a
Yeah.
8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And so I start a little later than most in life. So when I come home, well, home, I work from home. So this
Yeah.
is my basement. This is this is the bat
Yeah.
cave, right? So it's like
Right.
you got all the magic happens at home now. All the offices, everyone works kind of remote at NetSert almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I come home. So when the kids are here, I go right upstairs and they jump on me. So
Yeah.
it's that kind of, but funny thing is that kind of re-energizes me.
Yeah.
Playing with the children gives me a new sense of why I'm doing all this.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we talked about. What makes excites me in the day. Well,
Yeah.
it gives me a purpose for working so hard because then that's why I work to make the money.
That's right.
I mean, I work for myself because of the excitement of having conversations like this, but
Right.
for them, it's to provide the lifestyle, to so they can have everything that I had growing up.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that they have that. So they energize me. So I recharge by them, and then a
Yeah.
glass of wine or two,
Yeah. There you go.
and just chill out, watch some stupid television. My
Yeah.
wife, whatever she wants to watch. I don't. I've made enough decisions in the
Oh no, I
day. I'm
know.
I'm done. That's what I
Yeah.
look at. So,
Yeah. Oh no, I know. That's what I love when people ask me like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" I'm like, "Dude, I've
uh,
been making
uh,
decisions
yeah,
all day. Can
and
you
yeah,
please
it's
take this one?
yeah,
Give
please.
me a
It's like,
solid."
I have to cook dinner too. Okay, 'cause I'm the chef of the family too. So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love to cook, but I'm like I'm really drained. I don't look at
Oh
have
yeah.
another thing to give. So,
Yeah. No, I hear you. My
yeah,
kids can do that in a
yeah.
way like
Hmm.
nothing else. Because you
I
get
didn't
to
know.
strip
Yeah.
away from the work identity and just be
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about NetSert as a company. The culture is really great. They really
Yeah.
embrace that family. It's one of our primary like guiding principles.
Yeah.
This whole thing, family is a big one, and the culture of the company is a big thing. So it's a really shared experience. So everyone loves to hear about what's going on in their family, share pictures. Yeah, they really embrace that. So
Yeah.
that helps. So it's nice being in a company that understands family is first.
Yeah.
Well, sales is first, then family.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just,
they say family first, but we are trying to grow a business
you
together.
still
So,
gotta
yeah,
produce.
yeah, exactly. We're still
Yeah.
producers at the end of the day.
Yeah. Um, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a good question. Well, say, well, I know there's a trajectory for the company,
Yeah.
and I've made it very clear. I have a career path for the business where I want to be. Now, if we take on private equity, which looks like it probably will happen, there's going to be something's going to happen this year, and then if they'll have me, I'll be a part of this business as it scales even further. So I want to, continue that path with NetSert at least till 2030. So that's the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And where I am in the organization, there's not that many roles that are higher than mine. So I don't know where I'm going to be organizationally.
Yeah.
I've asked for like, where's my promotion look like, or where can I
Yeah.
go to? I mean, there's only a few chairs left,
Yeah.
so it's just like, that's fine, but I can maybe, be stay with the business, keep
Yeah.
growing it, or maybe there's going to be some way to scale it even more. I don't know. So right now it's going to stay with NetSurit. Let's see what happens if they'll
Yeah.
keep me. As long as I'm delivering, they're going to probably keep me. And
Yeah.
let's see how big we can get this thing. So we're trying to
Yep.
become like a $1 billion managed service provider, a $1.5 billion company in the next
Yeah.
5 years. So
Yeah.
it's one of our you know big wags out there that we're trying to be
Yeah.
hags that we're trying to get out there. So it looks pretty realistic too. So we're really excited. We're marching to that target. So yeah, that's my next 5 years. It's gonna be a lot of
That's
work
the
and
way to
rinse and
do it.
repeat. Yeah,
Yeah.
rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now. And if it's not that, I don't. I have. There's always a plan B.
Oh
I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm valuable in the marketplace. And that sort says, we don't need
Yep.
this division anymore. I think I could take it on that somewhere else.
There always is another
Yeah.
division or there's a
Yeah.
new market opportunity,
hmm
and
Yeah.
it's
But I like where I am. I think it's
yeah,
exciting. It's very fun,
exactly.
and I
Yeah.
enjoy everyone I
Especially when
work
you're at a
with.
great company, it makes it so
Yeah.
much easier
hmm
to see yourself evolving within the framework, even if you don't have a clear path. A
Yes.
company like that, the way they're evolving, the way they're growing, there's going to be something available for you.
Yeah, we had like a company offsite in Atlanta, like in October, I think it was. And one of the other companies got acquired, one of their executives. He said something really nice because they asked that kind of question, what was transformational for them as an individual in
Yeah,
life? It was more like
yeah,
touchy-feely stuff, which was really nice. But he said, "You realize how lucky we are to have been acquired by this company? Because we
uh-huh.
were all small, medium, we're all
Yeah,
small businesses. They got
yeah,
acquired. Now we're all becoming a big company." And how he expressed it was really lovely how he said it.
yeah,
And it resonated with me because, sometimes you forget it,
yeah,
why we did this, because it's like a money thing first.
yeah,
But one of the reasons why we did it was because of the potential of working with a company that's kind of culture fit too.
yeah,
So I think
yeah,
that sort of provides that.
yeah.
That's why we're going to stick around for pretty much everyone who got acquired.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
that's so important because I know a lot of people that have been acquired and it
Yeah.
has not been a good experience.
Yeah, it could
Uh,
cash out and go, or we haven't
yeah,
had that. It's been really the people got acquired, the companies. There's always a transition.
yeah,
You figure it out. You got to learn some
yeah,
of the hard ways, and there's bumps
yeah,
and bruises, but they're all there, and everyone seems to be
yeah,
like, it's not really drinking Kool-Aid. We're all kind of like, okay, they
yeah,
starting to cultivate and grow into the message together, and
yeah,
we're marching a lot more effectively as a company and be more effective as a company
yeah,
now. And the
yeah,
U.S. is quite fragmented. We're regions across the U.S. South
yeah,
Africa is where the headquarters was originally. Now it's the U.S. It's like a second headquarters.
yeah,
They're more unified because it was like a 200 person office there. And
yeah,
here we have regions all across the
yeah,
U.S.
yeah,
It's small company, small company, small company, but
yeah,
all the growth in the future is going to be here in the U.S. So that's what
yeah.
makes it exciting.
That's pretty cool.
hmm
Shifting conversation a
Yeah.
bit. CRM.
Yes. All
You
right.
love it or you hate it?
I Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's necessary. I realize I was a little old school, I guess, back in the day. I mean, I would just do my mind was so great. Pen and paper, emails. I could keep track of things, but I can't keep track of things anymore. There's too much activity. So CRM is just such a value tool just to have one centralized location that I can just go to and see all the activity, and there's shared opportunities across my organization. We have dual deals, or I'm helping support multiple deals. So I see helping even update their CRM for them because some of these guys aren't keeping it updated. But
Yeah,
at least I can see the activity. And if I didn't have it there, I wouldn't know where anything is. I mean,
yeah,
and then on top of all that, it's all the projects that are on the delivery side
yeah,
that's not in the CRM that's still in my brain. So
yeah,
if the CRM, the sales stuff wasn't there through all the sales cycle,
yeah,
it would get lost, and we miss millions of dollars of deals. I mean, that's why CRM is valuable. So yeah, I love it for that reason. I hate the admin part of it,
yeah,
just because who wants to do admin? But there's ways to get more effective at it, and that's one of the sales roles. We're looking at a sales operations person to help support the admin efforts. But yeah,
yeah.
eventually you got to just do type in some things once in a while,
Yeah, you
or
do.
or
You
talk
just
it in,
can't get away
whatever
from it.
yeah, you
Sometimes you
got to
got to
do it.
click the mouse. Sometimes you got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
type the keyboard.
But it's good because then you realize you've updated, and it makes you stay that deal stays in focus.
Yeah,
And I think you could lose sight of a deal because you
yeah,
just forgot of the email. But if you look at your CRM, it's in the face. There's a dashboard
yeah,
there. Yeah, it's valuable. Yeah, so
yeah.
love, I guess.
If you had a
Well,
magic
yeah,
wand to change
yeah.
one thing about your CRM, what would it be?
See, we're kind of transitioning, right? We have a couple CRMs that we're playing with right now, but let's see. I think the one we really work with right now, if I could have a magic wand to fix it or make it better, I think when we're doing the deal where I'm supporting the deal, I would like to be seeing a lot better visibility when that gets updated. Because right now I don't see it updated, or if they're moving it through the sales cycle like I would.
Yeah,
So I think there's a loss of visibility, and then I'm like, did you do it, or where does it sit? And then because I'm doing the sales activity outside sometimes of the CRM,
yeah,
maybe with an email or phone call. So is it getting updated there, even though it's all connected to some level? I feel like that's where it's kind of lost. That would be a much more valued kind of
yeah.
piece of the puzzle for our particular CRM.
Um, with your uh, So you're in your role right now. So I was kind of stumbling there in my
Yeah, that's all right.
question.
It's okay.
In your current role, when you're owner, you really get to make all the decisions when it comes to
Yep.
technology. In your current role now, you're part of a team
Yep.
contributing, I'm sure, influencing the decisions, but you're not the sole decision maker.
Correct.
What's that portion of the transition been like for you?
That I have input on it, right? So
Yeah,
versus having the decision, I guess it's kind of nice because, you feel like your feedback's valuable because I become more of a user. I'm an end user so much as an owner part of it. So it's
yeah,
different. But the only negative is like I'm not happy with something, a tool,
yeah,
and I make it very clear that this isn't a good tool,
yeah,
but there's nothing that's been acted on. And so we're sitting with this thing
yeah,
for now a year, nothing's been changed.
yeah,
And it takes so long for change. Now we're bigger companies, so change on a bigger company is a slow process.
yeah,
And there's many committees. I mean, we've become a bigger company. And when you're also a small company, I could just say, okay, I hate this tool. I'm gone. Let's try this new tool.
yeah. That's
So
what I do.
yeah, so that was the great thing about being your own boss a little bit. But
Yeah,
I'm okay. Like even today, we were doing a sales meeting,
yeah,
and in the chat, I was writing, okay, who likes our CRM or does not like it? I even said it, and I said
yeah,
I hate it. So, I
yeah,
mean, so just
yeah,
start like because we were in discussions about it. It's kind
yeah,
of funny. We're
yeah.
actually talking about it. So
Is
yeah,
CRM the basis of your, or is not the basis, but is it a tool leveraged in your sales meetings?
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the CRM feeds our Power BI dashboard. So we have dashboards that are our
yep,
sales dashboard. So the CRM feeds that. So when we
yep,
are doing the sales meeting, they pull up the kind of the forecast dashboard.
yep.
So yeah, but that's all coming from CRM.
Good deal. I like to
Mhm.
hear that because a lot
Yep.
of people I talk to would find out they're because they don't trust their CRM or whatever the
Oh,
issue
yeah.
is, they're really not, it doesn't play a role in the sales meetings. And so that's where,
Oh, I don't know how you do
if
it.
that's the case, that's a problem.
Well, good data is the most important part. Now, some
Oh,
of
it
the
is.
CRM, some of the people are not updating their CRM, and
Yeah,
then we do these sales meetings. I'm like, that looks really wiggy. I'm looking at it, and they're not guys who report to me, but if they were, I'd be calling them out a little
yeah,
harder. And I think that's something we have to be better at as an organization.
yeah,
That every Monday we do this sales meeting, what's coming.
yeah,
Have it updated, at least the things that are most active. The ones that are 3, 4 months out, that's fine. Leave them out there.
yeah, yeah,
Get to those when you can, but you're going to be talking about these 5 things in your
be
pipeline.
ready.
Make sure it's updated. So there's no
Yeah,
excuse for that. I think that's
yeah,
something. So yeah, and because at least that all gets fed to the dashboard. We're reading from it,
yeah,
looking at,
yeah,
and we're all marching to the same target at the end of the day. Even though my group has a certain divisional target, but
yeah,
overall, we're rolling up to the same number. You know.
yeah, yeah. Andrew, I appreciate what our
No,
time. This time always goes by so quick. I'm
no,
sitting
it's
here watching
great.
my timer going. I can't believe we're already at time.
Hmm.
If people want to reach out, connect with you, personal reasons, professional, if they want to learn more about Netsurit, what's the best way for them to do that?
Sure. I mean, obviously, LinkedIn's a great way to reach out to me. Connect with me. I've so many people connect me through that way. I'm sure we can put it into the meeting notes here.
Yeah,
And you can always reach out to me through my email at andrew.cohen@netsurit.com. And always available to do a phone call, or a quick meeting with anyone. So happy to make a connection. And Chris, this was a pleasure. I enjoyed it, and it was definitely went by really quickly. So always
yeah,
happy to have a conversation.
it's fun. It's such a joy for me. It's one of the ways I get my energy back in the day is recording
Yeah,
this podcast.
cool. Very
Because
cool.
it's always, I tell people all the time, to me, it's a master class in leadership, a master
Hmm.
class in selling. And I get so many quality people on here too. To me,
That's terrific.
there's that element as well.
Oh,
So
well,
I really appreciate your time. I'm
absolutely.
sure
Well, I'm
everyone
flattered you
else.
had me on. I really am. Thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, that's terrific.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm sure the people listening, they really appreciate your time too. And I also would like to thank you for being our newest member of the Sales Lead Dog Pack.
You got it. Thank you so much for having me again. And have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year to everyone who's listening.
As we end this discussion on Sales Lead Dog, be sure to subscribe to catch all our episodes. On social media, follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Watch the videos on YouTube, and you can also find our episodes on our website at impellercrm.com/Sales Lead Dog. Sales Lead Dog is supported by Impeller CRM, delivering objectively better CRM for business, guaranteed.